and take that lead away. He might have the spot.
Spin,
Oh, and a
Gonzalez
spin.
is around.
That did not take long. Oh, and
We block as well in the Alfa Romeo.
I wonder if there was contact, because it looked like something may have just broke on Block's car.
Yeah, that's how it looks, Greg, as he came down the hill there. May have broken a tie rod or something in the suspension.
All right, here we go. This is the start of the touring cars. Behind them, you see touring car A, Johann Schwartz from the pole, the defending series champion after a dominant season, leads away. This year will be driving for Hard Motorsport, as the team he won with last year, taking a year off from racing.
Jeff Ricker, a nice start there, up into second immediately in the Hyundai, as some of the cars run really wide here. TCA cars on the tail end of this TC class, so a big gap between the TCR field and then the break to the TC and TCA competition. Three classes running together here.
And Mark Pombo put the mini JCW team entry, the number 61, on the pole in that TCA category. He too, somebody who's got a lot of experience and a great season last year as well. Looks like he's been able to hang on to it. Meanwhile, we go up here, and what a move by Maxon at the start.
Yeah, I think he used his experience at the racetrack here, knew that he could get to the outside and make that move. Probably wasn't that happy with his teammate grabbing that pole position away. Maxon coming off that TCA championship with the Copeland Motorsports team. What can FCP Euro do? They look to be stronger as the qualifying session ran on this morning in the longer green flag run. So can those VWs come back at the Hyundais that run 1-2 right now?
And then the unfortunate spin right off the start by Gonzalez. Meanwhile, let's go back and look at the TCA field. Oh, a big moment there. Debris flying everywhere. That's the number 24 getting caught out in the midst of that.
Yeah. Damage, Greg. He's crowded coming off the corner a little bit there. That's down in turn 11. So Schwartz continues to lead from Ricker.
And I think is that James Clay and the number, yes it is, the number 36 entry.
Had a nice opening lap, made up a couple of spots.
So nice to have Bimmer World back in the World Challenge touring car paddock.
Settling in, so new colors and team name for Johann Schwartz, our touring car champion from 2019, but it's really a cut and paste of the picture from last year. Was him kind of leading this field away.
Oh, Clay looking, thought about diving down the underneath of Jeff Ricker.
He's looking menacing,
yeah,
isn't he?
He is.
Be careful there, that may cost him a little bit of exit speed. BMW right behind him trying to make a move.
Wanted to try and run the outside, couldn't do it. Now has to tuck right back in. That's one of the classic BMW entries. I think that might be Toby Grahovic.
He is trying to bounce back from a front row start, but got out shuffled here on the opening lap. Ricker defending down to the inside in the Hyundai.
Oh,
there's a touch there. Federal.
Federal getting tapped. Nice job to hang on to it. Oh, look at this. Clay now going to try and run the outside, get to the inside. And smart move by Grahovic. Oh, and a big moment, but he held on to it by James Clay.
That was awesome. Nice car control by James Clay there, putting all the chips in on that move.
He truly did. That's the, looking at it here, the car right behind Federal, trying to determine if that little bit of a touch didn't do anything. It doesn't seem to Federal, but this is Gonzalez is in.
Yeah, I think he got together with, had the spin, and then I think he got clipped by Block potentially.
Yep.
So Rick has been demoted a few spots, qualified third, got up to second immediately. He's now down to the 5th position in that black Hyundai as there's tails away shot out of turn 11.
He just got freight trained, and there's a car that's a fuel issue, and there is the car that had the problem. Ends up parked on the side of the track right now. Trying to back it away.
Damon Schutz.
Yeah, that's really going to be frustrating for Damon. They had an engine problem. They sourced one in Houston. It got here this morning, missed qualifying, putting the engine in the car, and then got involved, and right there got clocked along with the number 22. And that is Joey Esmond. Those are team cars. So that's doubly frustrating. Joey Esma, young gun, who is, I think, is going to definitely be a factor in this TCA championship.
James Clay looked like he had the pace, but now he's suddenly feeling the heat from Toby Grahovic, who's got into his groove here a little bit. Toby had the single victory last year, second in the points, but was typically frustrated with a bunch of bridesmaid finishes behind Johann Schwartz. But it seems like he's got a very strong car underneath him. I think if he can clear James Clay, he might have some pace to try and do something about Schwartz running up front.
And everybody in the TC world, the touring car world, really excited about the number of cars that are now coming as turnkey racers built for this class by manufacturers. The Hyundai Veloster NTC is exactly one of those. There's the couple of other cars that are being designed for that class certainly as well. The Honda Civic Type R for touring car, and of course BMW really started that trend with the M235 IR. It's now morphed into the 240 IR Cup machine, and it's really opened the door up for that kind of a program, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, they still dominate the touring car field with 10 of the 14 entries being BMW this year, but it certainly created the platform and kind of the template for what other manufacturers may be able to do.
And there's the number 57, and you see that it looks very similar. That's a Hyundai Veloster Turbo, which is designed and built to run in the TCA category. Looks like he may have gone around Pombo and picked up the lead. They are putting a lot of pressure on this TC BMW here. That is the number 27 that they are chasing and hounding here. That's John Rader, running one of the classic BMW cars. Now on this straight here, he ought to be able to just mosey off a little bit. It's a bit of a horsepower differential, but we've got a full course caution has come out, Cal. I think it's because there's 2 or 3 different cars around the track, and I think they just decided now we need to get this straightened up here. There's Scherzen's car, there's I think Block's car, and a couple of others as well. So
yeah, I think he tried to find the safe haven there, but can't get it backed in. Those little orange stripes on the guardrail indicate where you can try and get the car positioned safely.
I'm trying to look. That's the 20? Is that the 25 of PJ Gronke as well? And of course, he's a former Touring Car B champion. And if so, that is all 3 of the Tech Sport cars have had something unfold here for contact of some sort, apparently. If that is indeed the case, so that brings the Acura NSX GT3 safety vehicle out on track. Gathers up Tyler Maxson, his teammate Nico Reger. Vincent and Herzen, the teammates in the FCP Euro VWs. Herzen, the defending class champion. And the 17 of Smithson. Smithson didn't get the qualifying he really wanted. He ended up 10th overall.
Coached by young Bruno Canero, who's a young driver, been competing in Japanese Formula 3. He's done some coaching there and hopes to maybe get his opportunity behind the wheel of one of these TCR machines. Has a lot of talent, that young man, so nice to see him back in the paddock.
Well, this gives everybody who's had a problem here in the opening few laps an opportunity to maybe regain it. Well, it looks here like Gronke's car able to move.
It's a shame because this man puts in so much effort, gets so much support from a number of different people, and he had a tough 2019, so hate to see him start his 2020 campaign in a similar way.
Yeah, we often joke about it, but it's really testament to him is that there's no way it would take almost the whole race to read off his sponsor list, because he goes about it. He said, I don't have a big sponsor, but I have a lot of great small sponsors that all put something on the car. When I ran into him on Thursday, he's sitting on a little crawler putting decals on his car from the people that help support him. And so just that kind of dedication, commitment, and passion is, wins you over in a heartbeat. Then you add to it, he is truly the definitive stereotype of the super nice Canadian. He's just a great guy. And when you see him struggle like that, it really gets to you just a little bit. So, all right. Field's starting to pack up just a little bit. This really shouldn't take too long, I would think, to clean up.
grid for tomorrow is set by your fastest lap here today, so the touring car division does not have a second round of qualifying. So far, Gregory runs in the second position as the fastest lap, just by a few hundredths over his teammate Tyler Maxson at a 2:18.8 as the field gets grouped back up, ready for a restart here.
All right, here we go. And at the back of the TCR group, you see the two DXDT entered machines. But here we go, back to green flag, and Tyler Maxson, the defending TCA champ, who made the leap right to TCR and has already acquitted himself beautifully. Leads up, just being a little protective, doesn't want to just open that door up to the inside. Ooh, big wiggle there. That's going to kill his exit speed, Cal.
Yeah, he's going to feel the pressure here heading down through the S's, but certainly he had to defend the inside line. He pulls a big draft for the car behind you when you're running up that hill on a restart, so he had to protect the inside line, certainly.
All right, well, now they get into the very serpentine S's here. Things settle a little bit. Let's jump down to pit lane with Ryan.
Hey, thanks, Greg. I got Mariano Cruz, who's the team principal for VGMC. One of the drivers, of course, Victor Gonzalez, who was just in pit lane once again. He was actually out of the car in the garage, and he came back to get back in the car. So can you tell us what happened?
Certainly, I have to review the video again to look what happened exactly. But Victor spins on the first lap, and he felt something broken on the rear suspension. And we get on the pit. We change the tire very fast, but the wheel is broken. And when he go again to the racetrack, he felt something strange on the rear suspension. When he came back, the rear suspension was twisted. And we can do anything more for today, but we hope to be ready for tomorrow. Something's happened. We got 3 more guys on the racetrack right now, and we need to continue our job.
So Victor has got back in to drive the car behind the wall. He's done, but it is a big step up for the team. Just a single car, a little trailer last year, and it's a big fleet of cars here this year.
Last year we do an amazing job, only with Miguel, Victor and me, and some of the guys that helped us the last year. But this year we came with the whole ladder, TCA, TC, and TCR. I think it was a big step for us, VGMC Racing, little team from Puerto Rico. Thank you.
Yeah, better luck tomorrow, and good luck with the rest of the drivers as well.
Thank you very much. See you.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Ryan. When we got here on Thursday, I walked up to chat with the team, walked around the corner, and last year when you go talk to them, it was a small little trailer, the 1 car, 2 people. That was about it. I walk around the corner, big hauler, 4 cars under a big awning, and he said, yeah, he said, it's great. He said the people from SRO Motorsports really stepped up. It's a partner with that team, and he said it's made a huge, huge difference. And they've certainly taken advantage of it here. It's like Jeff Rica, as you said, he had that great start, Cal, jumped up to second, and then started to.
It's a good little battle here.
Yeah, it is.
It's for the lead.
That's Schwartz and Clay. Remember, James Clay made that one start this last season in touring car, Road America, and got a win in 2 poles.
Yeah.
So he hasn't lost much, and he's going to give Johan everything he can work for here.
There you see him, Johan is, I mean, James Clay has been running this form of competition for a long time, so he's stout to come in here. You expect him to run at the front, and the fact that Johan has been the man to beat here, certainly last year. Before that was Vesko Kozarov, who kind of thwarted Johan's attempt, and everyone was chasing Johan last year, so I think it's going to be a very fascinating season to see how an experienced vet like James Clay coming in, how does he compete with Johan Schwartz, our defending champ.
And then going back into the TCA ranks, and there's a look at the number 33. Interesting story there as you take a look at that. That is Matt Forbush, and you look at Signal and Hyundai and Herta Autosports on the car. That's the Hyundai Veloster Turbo, and Signal is his company, and he said we named it that because what the product the company produces is like a traffic signal for business. And it's just business software that can really help you do stuff. And so they came up with that name for it. And Matt's had done some driving, took some time off to work on the business. We hear this story really often, and now he's coming back and going after it, and really has put together a nice little program. And then the other guy, it's CB Motorsports, and that stands for Chad Bacon. And the other driver in the team in the 18 is Caleb Bacon. And if you're wondering, Bacon, wasn't there, if you're a historian of the sport, a guy named Al Bacon? You bet. Wow. That is the Al Bacon's son is Chad, who runs the team, and Caleb is his grandson.
Wow,
Isn't that
that's
cool?
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's a look at Jose de Silva in the Ives Motorsports entry. Number 15 of Gonzalez leading in the TCA class.
Well, they're having a good day, leading TCR right now, leading TCA. So certainly Brian Hood at Autosport have done a great job of not only campaigning TCR cars, but really forming a strong customer base and introducing these other platforms as well.
Down the hill. Look there, that is the 99 of Gonzalez, so the car may not be quite right, but I guess they just decided, look, we need to just get some points here, so do the best you can, and that is precisely what he is doing at this stage. Watching there, the number 20, one of the newer drivers into the TC ranks at Slonaker, Rob Slonaker in the number 20, that's one of the Autotechnic machines. Done a fair amount of racing and the like. He's a driving instructor and helps coach Bruce Robson, who's the other driver in the Autotechnic entry. And Rob himself has done a lot of spec racer Ford, SCCA, Skip Barber Formula cars, all types of different racing. And they said that we were obligated to say, because they know he's watching, to Robert Nimkoff, are you glad you decided to sit this year out now? As they said, he's just been, as it got closer to the start of the season, they said he just would not get out, off the phone. He's talking to us all the time and everything. And we miss you, Rob, as always. We look forward to having you back whenever you can.
This is heating up front. We normally see Robert towards the sharp end of the field, so we'd love to be duking it out with this little battle that's going on. Grahovic looks to the inside of Joseph. Just gets to him. Can they clear side by side as they accelerate off the 15 in this triple apex, a right-hander. Clay continuing to put the heat on our leader, Johann Schwartz. Grahovic the wrong way around. If he keeps it there, he's going to have the inside line for 19. Should be able to make the move.
He does.
Smartly just takes the middle of the road, doesn't swing back out to the right where you could have contact. So that was a really nice, experienced move there by Toby Grahovic to take that third position away.
It's a very solid run by Federal, too, in the Bossman products. Tech Sport Nissan. And the interesting thing to me is that I looked at all of the practice times, and he wasn't showing this kind of speed. And then he comes out at the start of this race and goes right to third and stays there for a number of laps. They really figured out a setup on this car, and he's getting the most out of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, for a lot of these teams, they just come into this first round of the championship season without a lot of test time over the off season, so they just try to find their feet, work out any technical issues that the car may have, work out the setup issues. And this battle is not going away.
No.
I thought that Johan had the pace. Seemed like once things settled down before the restart, he was taken off a little bit, but James has regrouped nicely and keeping the pressure on.
And we understand that Richard and Colleen Zulman, who lent Johan that car that he is racing there, he was a teammate with them last year, they're watching today. And Richard, we miss you in this championship, that's for sure. Glad you are getting better every day. And team, of course, very excited about this partnership with Hard Motorsports, owned by Adam Harding. And says big opportunities. That could be growth for them in the future this weekend, so that's absolutely great. And interesting, one of the sponsors on this car was Scope Anesthesia, and Johan was sitting next to this guy in the plane. They got into a conversation. Guy, so what do you do? Well, what do you do? He's a race car driver, showed him the car and everything. And they exchanged cards, and the guy called and said, what would it take to have a decal on the side of the car? And it's just, he said it was like, after the Rooster Hall thing went away, he said it was like, it was just supposed to happen here this way. So that's pretty cool.
It's taken a tremendous effort to get this group together collectively and be here, and Johan is certainly repaying that faith by leading right now, but I don't think there's going to be an easy victory. Only halfway through as he runs a little bit wide. Seems like the car may be giving up on him a little bit. James Clay car suddenly seems to be maybe the stronger of the two.
I just love watching touring cars float through that 16, 17, 18 complex, because they do tend to move around a little bit more. And now here comes Toby Grahovic. He's been able to drop Federer just a bit.
I think Grahovic may have the fastest car of the 3 BMWs running up front right now, and you can see that he made the pass on Joseph, and now he's sort of catching the leaders. I'm not sure whether Clay's paces may be being inhibited a little bit by Johan, but Toby certainly has caught this lead pair very, very quickly. I'd love to see him have a big year. I mean, he was so close last year, just kept finishing consistently on the podium, a bunch of runner-up finishes, got the single victory, but I think that team and Toby Grahovic has the ability to win this championship. He's just got to go get it.
Well, they won this title in 16 and have been very, very close ever since, as you point out, so it's something they would sure love to do.
This car just seems to be carving a little bit better. It seems like the other two guys are having to lean on their car a little bit harder, and Toby's car is still underneath him. But a lot of experience up front. Well, the first 3 guys have a ton of experience, so it's not going to be easy to make a move.
No. Of course, with Bimmer World and James Clay here, you always are going to hear about Optima batteries and Redline oil and the like, but Port Q, it's a new sponsor for them on the side of the car, so they continue to grow their marketing partnerships as well. But again, Johan folding it in here to turn number 12. There's still Maxon leading Reger, the 2 Copeland TCR cars up front. The Hyundai Veloster NTCRs separated by just a little over a second, and then a little bit more of a margin back to Vincent and Hertzen right now. And then in the TCA class, continues to be young Gonzalez and Bacon running 1-2 with Vieja now 3rd and Pombo 4th. And then Kevin Boehm sitting in the 5th spot. There we go. Look at Tyler Maxon.
These Hyundais look so impressive. I really felt under race conditions, maybe the FCP Euro team, the VWs could put the pressure on, but you can see the gap. Back to Nate Vincent.
Ooh, big wiggle there by Reger. He is pushing really hard.
Big change for this FCP Euro machine. We discussed it qualifying this morning, now taking all of the operation of that team in-house and involved with behind racing developments. And it's going to be a big task. They've done some club racing together with the group, but they're enjoying their racing. They like that story to tell, that everyone works at their distribution center during the week, and then they come and race on the weekends together. So we'll have to see how they can perform at this level.
Well, as we watch this 1-2 for the Copeland Motorsports pairing, let's check in with the team owner, Ryan.
I can't tell if he's happy or nervous or both, but Dean Copeland's got the top 2 cars overall, also the leader in TCA. What is it that's going through you right now, watching your cars performing well, but still a lot of time on that clock?
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're, just a little over about 15 minutes remaining, so, hey, hopefully those 2 boys out front can play nice. They bring home the top 2 steps for the podium in TCR, and looks like Tyler Gonzalez is having a career drive for him. Very talented young man, and Tyler Gonzalez as well. So hoping to pick up where we left off in 2019 in Las Vegas. We won the TCA championship, and Mason Filippi won TCR the races for us. So looking like we might be able to pick up where we left off. I'll tell you in about 15 minutes if it goes well.
Well, you had the commitment to Hyundai to some degree last year, mentioning the TCR program, but it's across the board right now. How has that gone so far, that relationship with Hyundai really going full bore here in 2020?
Yeah, the whole relationship with Hyundai Motorsports and especially Brian Hurd Autosport is the big player in it. They've been awesome to work with, really helped us a lot. And, you know, the Hyundai Motorsports is growing. It's a great band of guys and a lot of support. So definitely look for big things, not only in 15 minutes, but in the future for Hyundai Motorsports. You know, they're a big up-and-comer, and we're just proud to be a part of it, and hopefully we can make them proud.
Fingers crossed the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's you know, doubling up on the program in the TCR class, but this TCA program with the Hyundai Veloster Turbo with Tyler Gonzalez. I asked Tyler, I said, how did this come together? He goes, well, I ran with the team last year a little bit in the MX5 Cup in the ND2 platform, and he said, I've done a lot of SCCA Spec Miata racing and the like. And he said, ended up just chatting with the team and with Brian Hurd Autosport, and it just came up with, well, you guys have been doing really well in the TCR program. Let's try and do a TCA program, and that's how it came together. And speaking of working the program, looks like Clay might have the inside for turn 3, Cal.
Whoa, cut and paste from the movie made a little bit earlier in this race. I think it was on Jeff Ricker, so he's been there before. He knows what it takes. He knows the circuit well enough to know there's a little bump in the racetrack and how to deal with it. Superb move there by James Clay, so we felt that Johan Schwartz may be a little bit vulnerable. He's not going to give up, though. Toby Grahovic looking on, looking to take opportunity here and maybe grabbing a position for himself.
Yeah, new leader, and the interesting thing is now is for Johan Schwartz, sometimes they say it's a little bit easier to follow, just to sort of sit there, watch, reference, and maybe save tires just a little bit and then go after him once again. We'll have to see whether that plays out or not here. That's interesting. Way over trying to break any toe, isn't he?
He's making his intentions clear.
Yeah. Well,
he feels vulnerable down this straightaway. You're going to have to go the long way around.
Does that leave you, and right there, Toby immediately went with Johan as if to say, look, let's get into a 2-car draft here and see if we can pinch him down to the inside. Didn't quite work, but they're close.
Yeah, they really are. And I certainly feel that Toby's car looks like it's behaving maybe the best of the three, so potentially he has the winning speed, but getting by Johan and then going on the attack on James, if it stays in the same order for very long, is a different matter.
Right.
Johan's car seems to struggle a little bit through that one. And again, you just can't overdrive it. I mean, if the car's giving up on you, you just got to back off a percentage and just keep the front tires underneath you through that tight left-hander turn 15.
Yeah, once you pace those tires a little bit too much, the drop-off can be just huge. And I think ooh.
A mistake there that's going to give Toby the opportunity to dive inside.
Yep.
Or just had to roll too much speed into the brake zone. I think he just got into a position where he thought he might roll into the back of James Clay to give it up a little bit and runs a little bit wide through the final corner. That gives Toby the opportunity to make the move. And it's taken the pressure off James Clay in the lead as well.
Johan fighting back here, trying, but Toby obviously pretty savvy and makes sure he's got his car placed in the right spot for this third corner here.
Yeah, that's making a statement. I mean, for Toby Grahovic, he can't afford to let Johan come back at him that quickly, so he's got the move done. Now he needs to just really focus on this next half lap. Gap Johan, take the pressure off, go chase down James Clay, because I think that classic BMW is really strong here this afternoon.
Now, gapping Johan's not always the easiest thing in the world either, but see, I think you're right. I mean, Toby's car looks to really just be planted, doesn't it?
It does, and I think for Johan, I think he's trying hard, and when he tries to ask for a little bit more from the car, it's just giving up on him, so he's pretty much maximizing everything he's got underneath him, and to win here today, he's asking a bit more from it, and it's not there right now. Again, this program came together very late. They have a lot of experience, a lot of setup information, but again, it's not coming into the year like they did last year as a well-oiled unit.
That top three, however, have a pretty substantial margin right now back to Rika, about 5.5 seconds back he is. And actually, I think that might be, is that Chandler Hull was able to get around him?
I think he has.
Yep.
Rika's down to 5th. Chandler Hull had a nice season last year, some great performances, and expanding his horizons with 2 programs over in Europe for 2020, so he's going to be busy.
It's the Team Bimmer World entry this year. Of course, last year ran Copart Bimmer World, that partnership program. Then Jeff Rica. Oh, and Capizzi, real aggressive move down to the inside there in the Autotechnic entry. Of course, Tom ran the championship last year.
Phil Bloom just on the back of this little pack. He's having a nice run today. Gen Racer Hyundai looks nice.
It sure does.
That'll be fun for Jeff to have a new piece of equipment to work with. Did a lot with a little before, so
Yes,
give him a nice new race guy. Got to feel that he'll go from strength to strength once he gets a few more laps underneath his belt with his machine.
He had that car on display at the last couple of races last year, but didn't run it. And oh, look at this very aggressive move here.
It's pretty nice if he can hold it together. No,
not going to happen.
He judged it nicely in terms of enough room to get the job done without getting into Rica, but couldn't quite keep the front underneath him, and Capizzi comes back at him.
It's fun to watch how they study work and then just will try and pounce. And but yeah, that's one of the things with this class, and particularly when you're talking about these M240IRs, they're about as equal as it gets. So sometimes you have to try that big aggressive dive and just hope that you can control it at the exit, put the car right where you think the guy that you just passed is going to want to go. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much.
And I just love the way you kind of get through those S's. You're always just trying to search for that little bit of grip, getting those front tires up on the curb there as Rica runs wide. A little bit of smoke coming out of the back of that Hyundai.
Noticed that too.
But you're just always searching for that little tenth of a second, hundredths built into the 10th to suddenly being enough of an advantage to gap your competitor.
And this battle unfolding behind these guys, that's I believe that's Slonaker and Hodgson. Hodgson here, it's not looking at this point that they're going to be able to do the full season. That's the Lone Star Racing touring car program. Of course, Lone Star based right here.
Yeah, AJ Peterson runs that group, and really nice engineering group there. They've put together some great programs over the years. A lot of GT3 programs, but good to see them in this form of competition as well.
It is. It is. Fielded Mike Skeen for a few races in GT3 competition. That battle, it's as good as any battle on the track. It just happens to be for 8th and 9th in class. But that's one of the great things about this category is these guys, you find somebody that you're going to end up racing with, and you just get into these great battles. Oh, big wiggle there.
Yeah.
Just tried to pick up the throttle a little bit too soon.
There's a bit of miscommunication there.
Yeah.
I think he thought that Rica was in real trouble, then suddenly Rica got back on the racetrack and he pinched it a little bit and had a bit of a moment.
It's Tom Capizzi and the Capizzi Home Developments entry. And here's Tyler Maxson now as he's starting to catch some of the TCA field. It's the number 18 of Caleb Bacon. And second in class. Caleb having a great day here in that signal entry. It's kind of an interesting dynamic as we now take a look at, once again at the number 57 of class leader Tyler Gonzalez. But in talking to the signal guys, which is Caleb Bacon and Matt Forbush, Matt is essentially, he's Chad's stepson, essentially. So that's how it got all together. And as I said, Matt put this business together and always loved racing. And he said, at some point I knew I wanted to do something with it. We talked about the connection, obviously, to Al Bacon. And Matt went out and he bought Al's, the RX-7 that won Sebring in 1987. And he races it in HSR right now. So yeah, so this is, that whole program is very much intertwined, very much a family effort, and I think that's just downright cool.
It is very cool. I'll tell you what's probably not so cool for Michael Hurtson. He went all the way to Vegas, final rounds of the championship last year before he finished off the podium. Unless he can pull a rabbit out of the hat here today. He's currently running fourth, as you see him getting by the minis there through the S's, but he's got his teammate in front of him and the two Hyundais. It just seems like the FCP Euro team don't quite have the pace of those two drivers today.
Yeah, definitely don't. And there's the 61 with the mini. You're talking about Pombo. And he's sitting, I believe, third in class right now. He had been chasing Tomas Mieja in the team car, the number 60. He was right behind him at this stage. And they continue, of course, to be out there and running with that big promotion on the side of the car called STEP, which is Service Technician Education Program. And it's a pretty cool program to help people that have gone to at least a 2-year technical college to learn to be mechanics and the like, to get a leg up to work their way into a dealership and maybe onto a race team. And one of the training platforms is they embed those guys with the team at the track, and BMW is also part of that program. So you've got people embedded with the a number of BMW teams in racing as well. So old problem, that's Gonzalez.
Speaking of embedded, you nearly had Schwartz embedded in the side of Grahovic there on the run out of turn one.
That's very true.
And James Clay hasn't driven away. And look at this, Grahovic has gapped Schwartz there a little bit. This is the battle we're looking at for the lead in touring car right on screen right now. So James Clay continues to lead, but I still feel that Toby Grahovic has a very strong race car, but time is running out. Just under 4 minutes to go here. Maybe traffic will play a factor. I mean, if Toby's close enough and James just catches it at the wrong part of the racetrack, win may still be up for grabs.
That crucial launch out of 11 onto this huge long back straight here. Doesn't look like Johan's close enough to be able to get much of a toe off Grahovic. Or at least not one that by the time he gets here will do much. And Hull lurking now in the background.
Yeah, he's been running laps a little bit quicker than the leaders here, but probably doesn't have enough time to do anything with it, as Gonzalez just trying to get his way back to the pit lane. Not the opening to the championship he was looking for.
No, not at all.
What a great story he was last year. A couple of victories. Just really, you know, with such a small crew, it was a remarkable season for that whole organization.
Yeah, it was. And he put on a couple of clinics in tire management, Sonoma in particular, which is known to be pretty hard on tires. And the first half of the race, he was back there and you were going, wow, he just doesn't seem to have pace. And then suddenly he just started ripping by guys, and he had tire left and they didn't. It was that simple. That woke some people up, I think. All right, we should be on our maybe next lap, for the Max and Reger Vincent Hurtson group. Next time by will be last lap indicator for them, so these guys have 2 to go.
Yeah, getting back to the Gonzalez thing, I mean, they finished 5th in the championship. They missed the first 3 events, so you'd think they're going through this off-season thing. We'll race winners, come out of the box, and that's all about the dynamic of racing. You come in this first round of the championship, there's such this anticipation, this build-up that you think about, you're dreaming about, you're sleeping on it every night through the off-season, and then to come into this first round and have a little bit of disappointment is really a blow. But you just got to rebound, you just got to keep digging deep, thinking there's only one round of the championship.
Yeah, and it's frustrating to be sure. And, you know, then you think about it, because we now have Federer has had a problem of some sort. Gronke, Scherzen, and Esma, all 3 of the tech sport cars in TCA have had problems. And Block was the guy that got into the, he didn't get into them, they just touched. And Block got damaged as well. So that's the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune in motorsports. And everyone, you know, you love it, and every once in a while it just bites.
Looking at fast laps so far, which will set the grid for tomorrow in TCR, is Maxon by a slim margin over Reger, so they'll claim the front row with the 2 FCP Euro machines behind them. In TC is Grahovic. We said that he may have the fastest car. He's laid down the fastest lap of the race so far. And And it's his final lap. I don't think it's the final lap for this TC battle. They'll finish this lap and get one more as Grahovic is closer than ever on our leader.
Oh, look at this. Toby trying to swing out and then come back down underneath, but when he went to throttle, it just pushed a little bit. He ended up falling right back into line behind Clay.
His car is just carving the corners.
Yeah,
it just looks like it's set up better. It's got a better balance to it. Big damage there on the right front.
It's the number 11 of Bloom. Classic BMW machine, and it's a pretty substantial contact here. Here comes the white flag. And look how close this top 3Q is here. It should be a sparkling last lap.
Should be. Does Grahovic feel that James Clay has a chink in the armor? There's the traffic up ahead. This could play a factor. Probably going to meet these other cars some way down through the middle of the S's, which is a real problem. They can't just disappear.
Exactly.
And it's all about timing. Where does the leader catch them? Where is Toby Grahovic?
All right, here we go. Maxson and Rager through 19 and on to the front straight. This will be a 1-2 finish for Hyundai and for Copeland Motorsports. Tyler Maxson up from TCA wins the opening round of the TC America TCR class with teammate and pole sitter Nico Rager right there. And here we go. This is the war that's going to unfold, working through traffic.
Clay got through there nicely.
Yep.
So advantage Clay in traffic has actually allowed Johan Schwartz to get pretty close to Grahovic there as they come off turn 11.
The interesting dynamic here is going to be, can everybody get through that other car by the time they get to the break zone of 12? You can see Grahovic is going, please let me through here. Meanwhile, rest of the field coming through. TCA and hanging on for a very impressive run is Gonzalez in that number 57. So, boy, Hyundai winning 2 classes here. That's pretty stout opening season performance here. Look at that team, absolutely delighted. And here we go. Can anybody do anything here? This great battle. This has been just a fascinating study to watch here, and it looks like Clay's got him covered just enough, Cal.
Yeah, it's been a chess match, but James Clay is just managing to hang on here. I don't think Toby's going to do anything here. A couple of corners to go and no traffic in play, so James Clay using every ounce of experience to get Bimmer World the opening round win in the championship.
Onto the front straight, and Toby giving it a heck of a run, but welcome Bimmerworld back to TC. James Clay getting the win. Phenomenal run. Toby Grahovic in second, and Johan Schwartz, the defending class champion, on the podium with Chandler Hull fourth, and Jeff Ricca in the car that he worked so hard to get ready and to have it fast for this season, and it looks like they succeeded in that Hyundai Veloster N TC entry. Just a nice job. But boy, a 1-2 TCR and a win in TCA. And I should say this, not just for Hyundai, but for Copeland. Wow.
Yeah, it's a big day for them, and it's wonderful to see their drivers progress essentially up their own internal ladder. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Nico won MX5 Cup with them and is now driving his TCR car. Tyler Maxson obviously off a TCA championship last year. So that's the way you build programs, by getting people, young kids, on the lower rungs, the smaller platforms, and then seeing how they develop and then jumping them up to the next level.
Well, you know, one of the key moments, one of the delightful moments from our coverage last year was at Road America when, and I don't remember, to be honest with you, which team driver had a problem during the race at Road America, ducked into the pits, and Dean Copeland was racing that race as well. Followed him in, and we were going, what's going on? Both cars stopped. Dean got out, runs over, pops the hood on his customer's car, fixed it, got him out, then got back in his own car. You see somebody do that, that's a team you want to drive for.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, what a moment. What a moment for this young man. Last year, while he was in the, having that great run in the TCA category, I went up to the June Sprints, one of the big SCCA club races, and he had a huge weekend there. Still just racing every time he possibly could. Just a great story, no question. No question. All right, let's get it down. You can see the hat going on. Ryan?
Our reigning TCA champion, now a winner in TCR, Tyler Maxson. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, our Hyundai Velocitors were hooked up today. These guys got these cars absolutely spot on. We went 1-2 in qualifying, so we knew we had the pace. It was just about executing the race, and we did that perfectly.
You sure did. A 1-2 plus a win in TCA as well for the team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What about that move he made up into turn 1? I think he was... He had a plan.
And he executed it to perfection. And how often does that happen in racing? That plan pays off here. So here's a look at the TCR final results here. And you can see that great run. Smithson completing behind Vincent and Hertz, and Smithson completing the top 5. Then CJ Moses, Gonzalez, and then Block, of course, having the problem late in the going. Let's get right back down to Ryan.
How about it? Our TCA winner, also from the Copeland stable. Congratulations. Welcome to Victory Lane, Tyler Gonzalez.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you to my team, Copeland Motorsports, and Hyundai USA for supplying me such a great car, and just having a great time out here.
Perfect way to get the season started. Best of luck in race 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, he put a good one in, didn't he? No question about that. It's an absolutely fabulous way to start the season off. There it is. Gonzalez, Bacon, Pombo, your podium. Miha and Boehm complete the top 5. But just a fabulous run, and some work to do for some of the teams to get ready and be able to go after it here as we have this doubleheader format, and they get to do it again tomorrow. All right, and let's get right back down to Ryan.
James Clay just getting the helmet off after quite a tussle out there. Ultimately comes out on top in what was a great 3-way battle for the TC class win. James, you really had to earn that one today. What was the ultimate decider? How were you able to get it done?
Well, I knew out there with Toby and Johan it was going to be make no mistakes and make sure you do a good, clean job. I mean, that's what it was. I think Johan had a little bit of a problem with his car. I saw him driving around that, and I picked a few opportunities and then capitalized on one of them. Luckily, those two were fighting it out behind me, and that helped a lot. So I appreciate that. But it was, I really appreciate, while we're at it, Johan not turning in on me as I blazed past him accidentally in that braking zone in 12. So no, just great, clean racing with those guys, and had a blast out there today.
Great to have you back in the series on a more regular basis. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, how nice, as I said, is it if anybody's got a history of TC, there it is, to have James Clay, Bimmer World, back on the podium, and in fact, 2 of the Bimmer World cars in the top 5 with Chandler Hull, Krahovic, and you can see Clay said Schwartz apparently having a little bit of an issue that he had to drive around, so it'll be interesting to find out if they can solve that tomorrow. That battle could get even more intense. We love doubleheader racing here in TC America.
Yeah, setting up nice for the championship as well.